Abdullah Ali is 75 years old and sheltered in an IDP camp in Maqala. He says he left his home in Maikadra when Fano, a paramilitary group from Amhara region, started to commit atrocities in the area.
Fano just started killing people randomly. There was no reason behind their actions. They were just shooting at Tigranis. My son was shot on his knees, and so I had to take him to the hospital. That's how I became separated from the rest of my family. My wife and my 8 other children ran away to Sudan, while my son and I went to Adwa for medical treatment.
After their arrival in Adwa, Abdullah said he and his son had to stay in Adwa hospital for 3 months, but later his son was referred to Maqala.
I stayed at Adwa hospital for 3 months, but we had nothing to eat. Residents used to give us food. Then they referred my son to Aider hospital here in Mekelle. My son was diabetic in addition to his wound. He passed away 6 months later on June 29 of last year.
After his loss, Abdullah went to a shelter in Libanus College, a temporary IDP camp in Maqala, and was later transferred to Sawakari IDP camp. Abdullah suffers to diabetics, a condition for which he has not been able to get medical treatment.
I have been diabetic for almost 30 years now. I used to have medical follow-ups and take medication. I used to have regular diet suitable for my condition, like red tape, sorghum, and milk. I have been here for 7 months now, and I am yet to see a doctor, but what really likely to kill me is the lack of food.
Abdullah says the hunger often forces him to consume foods that are not suitable for people with his condition, and over time, this has deteriorated his health to a degree where he is no longer able to leave his bed.
Medication is not always available, but I get medicine now and then, but there is never food. With my health condition, it's not like I can eat whatever I can manage to find. If I eat bread or anything made of wheat, my whole body swells up. I eat that salad with injera and it's made me weak and bedridden.
Abdullah says being unable to communicate with his family members has been as painful as his condition is. It has been over a year now since he's spoken to his children and family and asks us to pass along this message to them.
I heard that people go to border areas to make phone calls, but I cannot do that. I don't have the money for transportation. I'm sure my children are worried about me. My children, how are you? My son Ali, how are you? My daughters Hayat, Jamia, Hawa, how are you? I'm fine, though I sometimes get ill. I miss you. I cannot meet you due to the blockade because the roads are blocked.
Away from his family and with no one to offer help, Abdullah is living in a plastic room at the camp, one that is on the verge of collapsing due to the ongoing siege.
Rain is a big problem now. The tent is flooded with water coming in through the walls and the roof. We sit in the middle when it rains. I cannot even start to explain the cold here. We are all suffering since the start of the winter. The aid organizations are just delivering pots and cups, but what we really need are blankets.
The ethnic cleansing campaign in western Tigray has devastated families, left more than 1 million displaced and homeless. While the siege is working to ensure that they cannot access medical treatment or food aid, the question now is when and if the world will act to protect the millions on the brink.